Day to viewers, this is the Colonel speaking to you live from the Grain for British Imperial YouTube Broadcasting, and I've got quite a lot of 9-inch broadcast records from the Rotothorn collection, quite a few of which are by Sandy Powell. This one is Sandy Powell at the North Pole. Yes, that's how you pronounce his name, viewers. Right, here we go. 926 is the number. Right, would help if I played the right side first, because it's a double side and we'll turn over halfway through. Very well recorded, these 9-inch broadcasts. Here we go.
Hello everybody. Before reading the weather forecast, we have some good news for you. I am sure you will all be pleased to know that Sandy Powell, who was reported in all the papers as missing, has been traced to the North Pole. Fortunately, he took with him a wireless transmitting set, and in a few moments we are going to relay him, and he will give you his own story direct from the North Pole.
Hello? Hello? Is that London? It's Sandy speaking. Not Bandy, Sandy. I'm speaking from the North Pole. The North Pole, not the Maypole. Can you hear me? Yes, I've arrived here all right, and I'm quite well except for a few chilblains and a frozen diary. Can you hear me? Will you be able to relay what I'm saying, please? Yeah, I should like my mother to know that I've found the North Pole and that I'm safe and sound. I wouldn't trouble you, only I haven't found the post office yet. Are you going to relay me now? I wish I could do the same with those eggs I brought with me. Hello? Will Mrs. Brown of 17 Bloater's Row go immediately to the Prince of Wales and fetch me mother out of the saloon bar? Tell her to leave her bread and milk and come and listen to her son Sandy speaking from the North Pole. Yes, here I am, and let me tell you it was harder to find than the winner of the Lincoln Handicap. At the present moment, we are surrounded by nothing but weather, which you've got to have here, whether you want it or whether you don't. Can you hear me, Mother? Now, the last part of our journey was the most difficult. I couldn't come across anybody at all who could tell me the way. And about 2 weeks ago, I asked a couple of Eskimos, and they said they'd never heard of the North Pole, but they thought I was going the right way for up the pole. Can you hear me, Mother? I make out my position to be at the moment latitude 47.5, longitude 6 7/8, and solitude rampant. I will now describe my voyage. I left Chorlton Comedy 4 years ago come Friday. I was given the freedom of the city before leaving. I don't think anyone ever expected me to go back, and I know it was the wife's idea that I went. Can you hear me, Mother? I did not follow the usual route taken by Arctic explorers for one very good reason, that I didn't know it. So I mapped out myself what I thought would be a shortcut. So on leaving London Bridge, I made straight for Greenwich and then up to Woolwich. And so far, no one had complained of the cold, which is usually experienced on these Arctic expeditions. Can you hear me, Mother? As you all know, my ship was called the Welshman. It was full of leaks. Believe me or believe me not.
One moment, everybody. I am sorry to say the receiving apparatus has frozen, but we will try and thaw it out in a moment.
And whilst they do so, we'll turn over to the other side. I was thinking of Anthony Powell, who wrote Dance the Music of Time, not Sandy Powell, whose name is Powell, even though they're spelt the same way. Here we go, viewers, part 2.
Hello, everybody. We are still trying to get Sandy again from the North Pole. One moment. I think we've got him. Yes, here he is. Here he is.
Can you hear me, Mother? On entering the North Sea, I had intended to take the second on the left, but this I couldn't do owing to the ship having a wooden rudder, which we soon found out wouldn't rudder. So we went straight across, and gathering speed, we dashed into the Arctic Ocean. I think our average speed at that time was 30 hours to the knot. Can you hear me, Mother? It was after a couple of weeks in the Arctic Ocean that we began to feel the cold a little, and I was very glad that I'd had the presence of mind to bring an overcoat with me. It was here that the ship's doctor wanted to turn back, because he discovered that he'd left his little black bag behind. Of course, I couldn't agree to that. So on we went, and the further we went, the colder it got. Do you know, on that deck, the temperature got so low, we had to stoop down to see it. Our fingers got so numbed, well, we could hardly handle the billiard cues. The cook got anxious about our food, so I gave orders that all the barrels should be placed near the stove, and that there should be half-hourly inspections of the bunghole. Talk about cold. Well, you've all heard the old saying about it being cold enough to freeze the... Can you hear me, Mother? Well, at last our breath actually froze as it left our mouths. The captain used to collect his, thaw it, and then rebottle it. Now, I was suffering from a cold in the head at the time, but a handkerchief was no good. I used to carry a little hammer in my waistcoat pocket, and then we stuck an ice pack. Nothing but ice as far as you could see, and a little bit further. So we loaded up the sleighs and got out the dogs. Now, as speed was our main object, I didn't bring ordinary sleigh dogs with me. No, I brought some racing greyhounds. And the first day not only broke 3 track records, but smashed the gramophone as well. After 5 days on the ice, we came across the tracks of a polar bear, and away dashed the cook, with a rifle in one hand and a currant bun in the other. It appears that he had promised his wife that he would take her back a bearskin, but evidently the bear didn't think so, so we had to get another cook. Can you hear me, Mother? All the rest of the crew are well, except the ship's doctor. He slipped on the ice last Monday and broke his stethoscope. Now, before I finish transmitting, I want all of you, when you leave your nice warm fires tonight and go to a nice warm bed with a nice hot water bottle and a steaming nightcap, just to remember that I'm at the North Pole mid the snow and ice. So cold am I don't know what to do. You can tell that I am British by the colour of my nose. 3 cheers for the red, white and blue. Can you hear me, Mother?
Yes. Well, there you go, viewers. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and goodbye.